Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Back with another video today. Got some news we got to talk about. You know, something we discussed earlier in the week was this staff continuity, keeping this coaching staff together. We hear a lot of recruits talk about the family atmosphere, the culture, how these guys have worked together. Some of them have been together going all the way back to Missouri with Josh Heupel. So this coaching staff's been in and around each other quite a bit. I think that's important. But I also talked about earlier, you know, Rodney Garner, Auburn calling, trying to get him to return home to his alma mater. Seeing Alex Golish get a head coaching job. It's a good problem to have when you're talking about a potential coaching search because other programs are wanting to poach your coaches. That is a good problem to have. We've seen in previous years under previous coaches where, you know, you're looking to hire somebody because they're not getting the job done. I don't necessarily think that's been the case with this coaching staff, but we do have one to talk about, and that is this. You can see there on the screen, John Bryce breaking top Vols assistant Jerry Mack is likely heading to the NFL, with sources telling Football Scoop things are trending positively for Mack to be hired by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Deal could be done within the next 24 hours. So, of course, first thing I did was jump over to VolQuest. I saw where Austin Price pretty much confirmed it, said it does seem like this thing is trending for Jerry Mack to end up in the NFL. And I don't necessarily know what Jerry Mack's circumstances are, what his, you know, issues are, why he wants to get to the NFL, if that's his future. You know, he's a guy that I thought ultimately could have ended up with a head coaching job in college football, but something we got to look at too moving forward, the new landscape of college football in 2024 with NIL, with the transfer portal, constantly recruiting. These guys get 0 days off, right? You talk about finishing up the season. Guys immediately start hitting the portal. You got to recruit those guys. As of right now, you're having to recruit COVID seniors back. These guys, they just never get a break. It's a constant grind, whereas when you get to the NFL, it's more of, I just get to coach football, and maybe that's what Jerry Mack wants. But go ahead and fire up the coaching hot board. The internet rumors, they're already starting to circulate. The message board talk. Are we going to get Jay Graham? Is Jay Graham going to come home to Tennessee? What about Montario Hardesty? What about Robert Gillespie? All these names are going to start floating around over the next 24 to 48 hours. But let's take a look at it. Let's break down this article. But as always, you guys do me a favor and smash that thumbs up just below the video. It's quick, it's free, it's easy. It helps the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts here. We're not media. We're not insiders. We don't pretend to be any of that. This channel is for the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. We're also fan-funded. If you like what we do around here, think about hitting that join button down below. For $1, you get access to custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, fan call-in shows, but more importantly, you're keeping the lights on around here. We could not do this without you members, so I'm grateful for your support. But let's go take a look at this article. This is from footballscoop.com. Says here, sources, elite Tennessee Vols assistant coach Jerry Mack on the verge of landing NFL job. Let's start with that. It says elite Tennessee Vols assistant coach. How do you feel about Jerry Mack? I think he's done a pretty good job recruiting. People can say, hey, we need to go hire an elite recruiter. We don't have a good enough recruiter. Jerry Mack can't recruit. I think he's done a pretty dang good job. You look at the guys that are going to be on this football team coming up in 2024. You talk about a guy like Cam Seldon, Dylan Sampson. You talk about Peyton Lewis in this upcoming class, an absolute stud. I think, you know, I've seen people say he's the fastest running back in the class of 24. I think Jerry Mack's done a great job with recruiting and also with development. I mean, you led the SEC in rushing yards per game. Doesn't get better than first, and that's where Tennessee was at in 2024. They led the conference in rushing yards per game. The article here goes on to say, after helping guide one of the SEC's best rushing attacks in a pass-happy offense, Mack is moving on. I don't know that I agree with that statement. I don't think this is a pass-happy offense. We've talked time and time again on this channel. We've heard Josh Heupel say it. This offense starts with the run game. Says here, Jerry Mack, Volunteer State native, former conference championship winning head coach, and one of college football's undisputed rising assistant coaches, is exiting Rocky Top. Again, off to the NFL. A guy that I thought ultimately would end up as a head coach once again, but now he is off to the NFL. Says sources tell Football Scoop that Mack, among Josh Heupel's initial hires 3 years ago on Rocky Top, is expected to leave the program for a job in the NFL. Per sources, Mack and the Jacksonville Jaguars are trying to finalize an agreement to have Mack join the Jags coaching staff of head coach Doug Peterson and offensive coordinator Press Taylor. Says, though no deal has been completed, sources with direct knowledge said that things are trending positively and deal could be finalized as early as Friday night, perhaps no later than Saturday. Matt Zenitz of 24/7 Sports first reported that Mack had emerged as a top target. Mack's impact on the Tennessee offense was immediate, but it was never more evident than in the 2023 season. Of course, you're talking about a year where, Jalen Wright broke that 1,000-yard rushing mark. It was so huge. And then for him to go off to the NFL, and we talk about it all the time, right? Develop talent, prove it on the field, send them to the league, and then that now you can just recruiting. Not that it's easy, but it makes it a little bit more easy when you've got that selling point. Talking about some of these offensive tackles in the class of 25 that Tennessee is starting to work on now. One of the big things they talk about is Darnell Wright getting to the league. What happens if you get John Campbell to the league? What happens if you bring Lance Hurd in? He develops, becomes a stud, you put him in the league. What happens when Cooper gets to the league? The more you develop guys, the easier it becomes to recruit. So it was huge for Jalen Wright, obviously, to hit that 1,000-yard rushing mark. Goes on to say, in charge of the running backs for the Vols offense that paced the SEC in rushing and ranked 9th nationally. Mack helped coach Jalen Wright to a 1,000-yard season, even though Wright played in only 12 of the 14 games. Also, you got to look at these splitting carries, right? Splitting carries with Jabari Small, splitting carries with Dylan Sampson. Says Mack's work with the running backs was all the more crucial during the 2023 season, which Heupel's aerial attack saw its production dip by 83 yards per game, down to 243 yards per game in the transition from Hendon Hooker to Joe Milton. Tennessee's top 3 tailbacks under Mack last year, Wright, Dylan Sampson, and Jabari Small combined for more than 2,000 rushing yards and 13 touchdowns. Again, think about Jalen Wright if he wasn't splitting carries, right? How many more yards would he have put up? Says in Sampson, Mack helped the Vols secure one of their biggest recruiting wins in 2022, and Sampson has averaged more than 6 yards per carry, already topping 1,000 yards. His work in 2023 with the Tennessee backfield helped him in being named our Coaching Network's 2023 SEC Running Backs Coach of the Year. So it sounds like pretty much all but done that Jerry Mack is going to be off to the NFL. Again, people want to say need an elite recruiter. I agree with that. You got to go hire an elite recruiter. I think that's a big part of this. But I think Jerry Mack did a great job recruiting. Again, as it mentioned in the article, Dylan Sampson, bringing in Peyton Lewis, Cam Seldon, absolute huge commitment in Cam Seldon. Excited to see what he can do in year 2 of this offense. Now the question becomes, where does Josh Heupel go from here? If we look at history, if we look at the past, and a lot of people talk about Josh Heupel and being protective of this offense. I'm already hearing rumors of possible, because of all the construction going on at Neyland Stadium, possibly not having the orange and white game. That would be 2 out of 4 years that Josh Heupel didn't have the orange and white game open to the public. Is that by design? Is that because he's so protective? Coaching hires. He doesn't go outside too often. We've seen it. Again, previous years, what happened? Alex Golish takes that head coaching job. Who does he do? Who does he hire? Does he go out and hire a home run tight end coach? No, he promotes Alec Ablin from within, and we've seen him struggle to recruit these guys that are analysts. They got to learn the ropes. They got to figure out what it takes to recruit at an elite level. Also, back when Cody Burns left for the NFL, what do? They promote Coach Pope from within, and I like that hire. I think Coach Pope has done a good job. I think the kids like him, the players like him. So now we've got another one, Jerry Mack off to the NFL. So the question becomes, where does Josh Heupel go? Does he open up a legitimate coaching search, or do you go to utsports.com and look at the 2023 football support staff? Do you look at a guy, an offensive graduate assistant, Cody Cook? You go on down the line, the offensive analyst, right? So many analysts that are a part of this football program now. Is this the direction that we see Josh Heupel take? You got another offensive analyst here, Mitch Militello. You got Mackenzie Milton. It'll be interesting to see. What do you guys think? Put it in the comment section below. Do you think we see a true coaching search, or do you think we see Josh Heupel promote from within? That's the question I want you guys to answer. Put it in the comments. Wanted to drop a quick video as soon as the news came out. So let's talk about it in the comment section. As always, do me a favor, guys, and smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. I would greatly appreciate it. Go check out the merchandise, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. But that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.